My name is Fernandez. I live in the area of Tampa, Florida. And I'm here to represent various mothers and lots of parents that are dealing with the aftermath of separation and divorce. Some of the issues that are at stake right now, which are, in my opinion, the most heart-wrenching of the issues, are custody battles that are very damaging to these children. I happen to be one of some mothers in the area that met up together to voice our situations to various legislators in the area, especially one legislator in particular that had all of us as his constituent. And the issue at hand is with one particular evaluator that
Okay, stop. She should explain what an evaluator is. Can you do that? Can you do that? Okay, so
I will, after I finish the sentence, then I'll say what an evaluator is.
so go back to the start of your sentence.
Yeah.
Go to the top. Okay.
With an evaluator that
you can see we're going to lose that in the edit. So go back to saying we went to one legislator. Remember when you started that sentence?
When you started the whole idea.
The whole idea.
Okay.
You went to the legislator. Okay, sorry. It's my fault.
we went to a particular legislator that we all fell under as his constituents. And this legislator above that also had the role of he led the Judiciary Committee of Florida. So we had the extra benefit of having that extra knowledge and that extra influence in our cases. And not that he could help particular cases, but as a group, there are laws that could be implemented to regulate certain aspects of custody evaluations. Custody evaluations in Florida are pretty standard when they're custody battles in particular. And these custody evaluators are used by the courts, the court appointed. And the issue has been with the court-appointed evaluators where they use a particular non-scientific word, non-scientific trend, psychological term that is not accepted in the industry to use it and apply it against a particular parent, usually the parent that has not paid for the evaluation. So there are two conflicting issues in these evaluations that the legislation is in Florida may be looking at. And the issues may be, like I said, the terms and unscientific terminology, unscientific, non-approved psychological terms that are being applied to a particular parent to lose custody of the children at stake. The movement started in our area with an idea that I had of finding common denominators. I felt that my case seemed a bit odd in the sense that I was not happy with having the evaluator take sides, and it appeared to me that it was based on financial influences placed upon this particular evaluator. I decided to do a little bit of research and posted signs and began to talk to other parents. Eventually, a lot of the parents began to call me as well. And the word came out, and we wanted to see what we could do to improve the system. We felt that if you have a court-appointed evaluation, neither party should exert any kind of financial influence on a case. We felt very strongly that the court should be kept very neutral and outside of the monetary realm. We also felt that when you have a psychologist use terms that, or a scientific formula that is not approved or readily used by other psychologists in the field, there was an issue as well of conflict. And we found that the common denominator in our case was the word narcissistic. All of us were viewed as narcissistic. And we found that I don't want to use the word biased, but we find that the term was used too readily and we felt in our cases, without foundation. And therefore, with that common thread, we felt we can use these cases to hopefully bring more awareness and cause change so that other parents would not have to be submitted to any influences regarding whether it's money, position, any kind of influences that are not at any given point taking the best interest of the child. This particular representative looked at the trend, looked at our cases, and he is considering various remedies to cases like this. Among the remedies that he's looking at considering is who appoints these evaluators. If there is a review board for complaints, once these evaluations are performed and they seem to be not following standards, so we would like to look at a review board to file complaints. And finally, the method of payment that these evaluations entail. So those three aspects is looking at. And in addition to that, we are looking at the possibility of amendments to the bill to be sponsored to look at any kind of retaliations to parents who have reported any form of abuse or any strong issues that create conflict in the particular evaluations. When these moms or these parents are reporting issues of abuse, there seems to be targeted retaliatory actions, and this legislator is interested in looking at laws that perhaps address those issues as well. The group that I have implemented so far is Mothers in Crisis Coalition at yahoogroups.com. And basically you have to go to Yahoo Groups and then connect with us. It's a private group. You would have to ask to be invited into the group, and after you let your situation be known, you will be able to come in and be able to post to other parents that are in similar crises. The issue of anonymity is very important to a lot of these parents. Mainly, most of them are women, mothers, because the trend has been that when they post or when they become vocal, their abusive spouses or significant others, exes, or even at times the court has retaliated against these outspoken mothers or women and victims of abuse. Most of them are victims of some form of abuse: verbal, emotional, neglect, physical, sexual. My background is I'm a teacher. I formerly was a flight attendant, formerly was a model part-time. But I also have a lot of knowledge of PR and activism because of my previous political involvement with political campaigns, just on a volunteer basis. That led me to other activisms, and that is where we are now in my efforts to make this national campaign of reform to improve the life of children caught in this nightmare. I started thinking outside of the box as a PR person with that kind of background, that PR and political campaign activism knowledge that I had. And thinking outside of the box was, I'm going to post posters in my area, the places that I go, churches, where I do my business, at the laundromats, laundries, cafeterias, and I asked, can I place my poster in here? They were pink. And it just says, I'm a mother going through custody battle, divorce issues, and I'm establishing a support system. Anyone interested, call me. And I got an outstanding response, and I was surprised to see how widespread this problem is. It's an epidemic. It is something that is devastating and affecting lives of thousands upon thousands of families, children, fathers, mothers. And right now we're asking the support and involvement of any agency that could come and step up to the plate. Department of Justice, where you are, National Organization of Women, where there are serious grievances of civil rights violations. We basically decided to go into different alternatives to get exposure to a local problem. We put newspaper ads. We even resorted to paying someone to hold a sign and receiving inquiries. And we wanted this person to be not related to us by our names, and getting exposure that could be tracked back to any of these moms in particular involved in these cases. So these person was hired, retained, and basically using outside of the box concepts to get attention and to get more research and more case studies into this equation, which is what's needed right now. Right now we have thousands upon thousands of cases throughout the nation of other parents that their rights are being totally quashed and silenced by the system, their children being ripped apart from them, and there is case study after case study, and we're doing what we can locally in the area of Tampa, Florida. We are considering connecting with other organizations, other parents, and retaining a major advertising agency, PR agency out of a state capital or New York City. And we would like to do a national campaign to stop what's going on throughout our country. We have been able to get this one person to volunteer in helping us, and he stands on different locations throughout the area, sometimes outside of the courtrooms, sometimes outside of these particular evaluators, and holding a sign. For more information, call this number. And basically, this is our way of letting others know that we're going to start connecting. We're going to go to our legislator, we're going to go to agencies, we're going to go to our advertising companies, we're going to do whatever it takes to make sure our children in America get to see their parents. That there is not one parent that could exert more influence in a system because he's more wealthy, because he has more influences, because he's very well connected. Those issues should have no part in a judicial system. And that is our goal. Every child to have equal rights in front of a judge. Every parent to be able to be equally represented before the judge. That is our goal. When I became involved in my case, my own custody battle, I began a research campaign. And through my research, night after night, after I would put her to sleep, I would go without sleep to look into what was happening that seemed so odd in my particular case. I started connecting with different mothers, different women across the nation that were enduring not the same opportunity that I had. I had the benefit of being able to hire an attorney. A lot of these mothers, because of their financial predicaments, were not able to retain attorneys. Therefore, they would go before a judge without legal representation. Oftentimes, they had to represent themselves. The stories that I started hearing, case after case, concerned me seriously. The concerns of these mothers and their outcry resonated so strongly in my heart, resonated so strongly with trends that I was seeing in my own case, that I decided to go further. And the more time I would spend researching these cases and the common denominators, what was involved, it became clear to me that this is an epidemic across the nation. Every state, state per state, story after story. I'm not able to see my children anymore. I can only talk to my child on the phone. I have to see my child only with supervised on a public facility. And I was horrified to see the case log. And when I started communicating with leaders of these organizations, and they were also documenting and reporting the same findings that I was discovered in my own area, then I realized that the problem is widespread and is something that at this point in time needs to be addressed by our country. The leaders of our country need to look into this issue. It's no longer one isolated case, two isolated cases in one particular state, cases pertaining to one particular evaluator. These are cases that are springing all over the country with all kinds of different circumstances, mainly mothers that are losing their children across the nation. Oftentimes when they report abuse, oftentimes when they're not able to hire expensive attorneys to defend their children anymore. This is inconceivable. And it doesn't provide the protection that these children need and require. It doesn't provide due process to these mothers that are not able to afford the same benefits that the wealthiest father or parent has. And I'm not going to discriminate. We do have some cases where there are fathers that are being discriminated against because the mother has more of the financial edge. However, the trend, majority of the cases involve mothers. And that is basically the reality of it. And the communication campaign, the public relation campaign, the advertising campaign to defend these children is already in place and will continue to move forward.